It's Re-Up Alex.
It's BMO.
Hey y'all, it's Summer.
And this is the Re-Up podcast. Got Summer here. It's Sommer Time. Clearly. Nothing better. We're going to talk about podcasts. This is our first podcast.
About podcasts.
Storyteller. Yeah, we're going to talk about podcasts. We're going to talk about Howard. Of course, it's been a hot subject lately on the pod. Yeah, other than that, we're kind of going to go into how she got to DC, where she's going in the DC community, and some fun stories about just NPR, communication, everything in between. Excited. Yeah, man, I think it would actually be a disservice if on this podcast we did not talk about the elections just a little bit.
Oh, God.
Not really like anything one-sided or the other side, but I just got to say, voting is coming up.
Voting started already.
The deadline is coming up.
Yeah.
For me, I like making sure that I look up a voter's guide before I go in, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down. You're going to vote for the president that you want to vote for, and then there's going to be all these other choices. You're going to start filling out random shit, which makes like you can be really fucking
you fill
shit
out
up.
one bubble and then realize you have 3 other pages of ballots.
Yeah. That's my one recommendation to anyone. Look up a voter's guide. There's like the Virginia voter's guide. You can just type in your address and it'll give you a description of every single candidate and their policies. That's really important.
Sure will.
If you're going to do anything, I'll put some links in the description, for this whole podcast, YouTube, everything. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say.
No, I feel like that's a good...
I had to do it.
That's a good segue into... I've seen a lot of like my newly American citizen friends who are like 35, 40 plus who are voting for the first time. Like they just got their citizenships and now they're voting for the first time.
My mom's voting for the first time, actually.
Dope.
Yeah.
Right? And so what they ask is, what should I do? And what I do is, go look up the most neutral thing you can have, which is the thing. They actually send it to you in the mail. I don't know if they do that in Virginia, but I got mine like a little gray book. It's like a
they
little.
Didn't give that shit to me, but I do like that. Yeah.
So I do that because you're right. To that point, you vote for president and you vote for like the mayor or your governor, and then you're like, what does Proposition B? And you can't whip out your phone and start Googling in the ballot.
No, 100%.
So it's
100%,
just,
man.
You got to know. You have to be an informed citizen. And what I want to also say about voting, and I don't know if I've said this on this platform, but
No. I know what you're going to say.
Your vote ain't special.
Yeah, I need you to say that. You
your
said that
vote ain't special.
804 podcast.
I did?
Yeah.
And if you're not voting, you got a little dick or the dry stuff. That's true. That's true.
No, it is.
But no, your vote ain't special. Like your vote is the beginning of your civic voice. It is not the end of your civic voice. It is not the full participation of your civic voice. So if you walk into the booth thinking that who I choose and how I choose them will be the end-all, be-all to whatever political problems that you have, you are sorely mistaken, friend.
Yeah.
You need to engage way beyond voting. Voting is basically like when you go to class and you go, present.
Yeah, president.
And what class did you get an A in where all you had to do was be present?
Yeah.
Even in PE, you had to wear different clothes.
You had to wear the clothes. If you didn't have the clothes, you got in trouble. So
That's right. You getting a B in PE because you ain't want to put them shorts on.
Yeah, because you had shorts.
And now you think just because you show up to the booth and go present, now, you know what I'm saying, universal basic income. Now you think your mama shouldn't have to pay more than $30 in income. Bitch, no, you get out there and advocate. There's more things you gotta do other than vote.
There's more things. And there's some crazy stuff on the ballots in some states. Like I know Florida, they're going to get rec weed or something like that.
Good.
Nah, I mean, I think people are trying to stop it though.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I think some places have medical programs that are so strong, they're just like...
Oh, they're basically punishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. But I would like to smoke recreationally while I was in Florida, though. I would like to do that.
I mean, shit, I'd like to smoke rec in DC even.
What a weird market.
Kamala Harris is trying to legalize weed. She pulled that card, yeah. I knew someone would. I was surprised. I was scared Trump was going to do it, to be honest. Because, like, that's just such a goated card, right? Like, why wouldn't you just do it? Like, you're going to get more votes. We all know you're going to get more votes.
But, yeah, that's what frustrates me about election season is I'm very particular about language, especially like false promises and clear pandering.
She might not actually.
I
do
remember
that.
junior year in high school, I wanted to be class president so bad because you get junior year class president, you're probably going to be senior year class president. And when you senior year class president, you get to control the reunions. I don't know if you know that, but like you don't want to call back the reunions. You go back to the school. People keep in contact with you. You get your special picture in the yearbook. So I wanted to be the class president so bad. I campaigned for weeks. I made handmade posters because this is in 2005 when you couldn't just make
you mind getting some
print posters and shit.
Davion? Thank you. Appreciate it.
I printed posters. I had like soapbox speeches in the courtyard during break. I had a platform that I typed up and printed out the library.
Damn.
My opponent gave out pink starbursts the day of the election and won. That's what I think about these marijuana motherfucking promises. It's a pink starburst before the election.
Yeah.
Bitch, don't trick me. Don't trick me. I know who I'm voting for. I'm voting for Kamala. Like, you know, if you vote for Donald Trump and you're a black person, you're ridiculous.
I mean, he's got a lot of the black vote.
I don't believe it.
That's what they're saying.
I don't believe it.
It's based off of the grievances of the past elections that he's kind of like playing off of, you know?
In what? Okay. And
They're saying like, oh, well, Trump did all of these things with fucking stimulus. And then he's basically the thing that everyone's saying is like, oh, well, nothing's going to change anyway, so at least let's get someone who's going to give us some free money. Which, like, I'm like, yeah, you fair. Like, I see your.
That's stupid.
I don't agree with it, but it's like fuck all this shit. Let's get some free.
Dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand the frustration. Is what I'm saying. I don't agree that don't do that. 100% don't do that. Oh yeah. She said she could walk over.
That's dumb. That's that pink starburst shit. That's exactly what I'm telling you. I'd have done all this work to actually make sure that our class is going to be where it's supposed to be. And my opponent, who did not do the job, by the way, she got elected, didn't do shit, didn't never call a meeting, didn't never set out an agenda.
Damn.
She just was in the homecoming court, and that was it.
Yeah, I was vice president one year. I was VP.
So tight, bro. I ended up moving anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But if we're talking about voting, yes, voting. But you know what would be a good conversation to have, because if we want to be very partisan about it. How do you feel? You know this Chappell Roan girl?
Yeah.
So Chappell Roan came out and said that she's not making an endorsement, right? And she started to be attacked by left-wing and right-wing people saying that you should stand on something. And she said, I'm not going to make an endorsement.
Yeah.
Right? But okay, maybe I could understand that, but also maybe I can't understand that. If you have a voice and a following, almost like we're having this conversation about voting as if it's a responsibility, why the fuck aren't you making an endorsement?
Because it depends on what you're doing, right? Like, you're a musician, and we've kind of touched on this, but I've talked to people about this. Like, what if musicians just didn't have social media or anything? They just made good music and that was it. Then they wouldn't have to say anything about the elections because their job was just to make music. So I do understand the point of like, hey, I don't want to say anything because it's not my fucking job. Even if you have a platform, it's like, That
is your job, though.
These days it is, because you have to be an influencer, you have to be out there, you have to.
Hold on. And what days did it transition though? Because I feel like it's at all days it's been your job. If you have a voice, because you're singing, like you're still giving a message, you're still saying something to people.
True.
So where is this like? I don't get this understanding where I'm supposed to like just allow you to be neutral. No, girl, like you don't get to be neutral. I understand, like celebrity is not fair, but oh well.
True. Now Summer's here. If you want, sorry about that. Yeah, that is true. I mean,
and I don't understand colored folks giving her a pass for that. Of all people, Harry Belafonte would not go for it.
Nah, she be on some type shit where she'll be like, "Oh, I'm like a little stressed out. I can't do my shows." You know what I mean? I feel like, and I don't know anything about. I've never listened to her music at all. She's so popular that I just know of her. Because, you know
I
what I
haven't listened
mean?
to her music.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
my friend Jada, who is Jada, she might be on a show one day. Excuse me. Jada was telling me that she went to a show. She's essentially like the next Gaga.
Oh, the next. I would have said.
That's what she's looking
okay.
at. She's looking like she's like the next Gaga.
That's interesting.
But like the pressures that you do. Hello. Come on in.
Yo.
Watch your toes.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I love Topo Chico.
Oh, sweet. Grab you
Yeah,
one.
feel free to have a Topo Chico.
Topo, what up?
I got.
Okay.
Oh, let me pop.
Bottle opener.
Got you.
But we just jumped in. We just actually talking about our girl Chappell Roan. We ain't heard not Nan's song, right? But we're talking about the responsibilities of celebrity. How she wouldn't make an endorsement in the election.
We've never listened to Chappell Roan.
Never heard Chappell Roan in my life.
I never.
Homegirl told me she liked the new Lady Gaga though. That's what she said though. And so my homegirl told me.
I've heard that too.
You've heard that?
I've heard that.
And so Alex is about to tell me about how Chappell has like performance anxiety, and I think he was trying to convince me to give a fuck. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh no, I've just heard that she'll just like cancel a set or a show because like she's having a bad day or something like that. So I'm like, if that's the tip that she's on, then yeah, I don't know if she really has to say anything about the elections. 'Cause I just feel like that would be out of character at that point if you ain't even feeling like doing the show. Like.
I don't know. I kind of feel it. Like because that life is so demanding, right? Like you have to be on 24/7. Like you got to give people opportunities to not be on, right?
Yeah, that was kind of what I mean. That was kind of what I was saying too. I guess it is hard for me too because I'm an artist manager, so I'm like,
oh yeah, sure.
Be careful.
We do have to give people some time to rebuild. Do we? Yeah. Don't you need it?
No.
I need it.
He doesn't.
I need it bad. Like I can go, but when it's time to not, I'm going to not.
Okay.
That's good.
Not is one thing. Not in public is a different thing.
Yes, you don't get the opportunity. You have to, but she's not doing it in public, right? She's canceling it so she cannot. Right?
I don't know. Like if I'm on tour, but then I'm like, oh, Tuesday, y'all. I don't know.
But I think your point was really like civic responsibility because earlier
that's what we were talking about. Yeah,
we usually don't talk about this type of stuff. We're like, given the time of the year, we should say something about the elections. And what I was saying is like, yeah, everyone get out and vote. Look up your voter's guide for your state so you don't pull up and you vote for the president. And then there's 30 different, different candidates and questions that you need to fill out.
I'm experiencing that now because I'm registered in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And
they kicked you off?
No, like it's important. I was like, I want to stay registered in North Carolina because it'll mean more.
Makes sense.
They're like, I got an absentee ballot, and it's like all these people. I have no idea who any of these people are. So I need to do my research before I send it in. Yeah. But it's like 30 people on there. I'm like, I don't
That's
know
what we're talking about. You vote for the president, you vote for the mayor, and there's like 3 other pages of ballot. You're like, oh shit.
Right.
And you start filling out random shit.
And you can't Google in the booth.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you got to go on your civic.
Beforehand.
Right. So we're talking about civic responsibility. So me and Alex felt that we had to talk about the election in some point because even with our smaller voice, it would be.
It's not smaller.
You talking about
smaller than Chappell Roan. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Even with our smaller voice or our smaller comparative voice, reach, right?
Okay.
Than Chappell Roan, we still feel the urge that we got to say something.
Yeah.
So like to actively say I'm out here saying that I'm not going to support anyone as a black person. As someone who comes from the lineage of a Harry Belafonte, I don't feel like you get to be a public persona without having an actual voice towards real things.
Is Chappell Roan black?
No.
Okay, well, yeah, she gets to say that then.
Oh, okay,
Her
well, there we go.
ancestors didn't fight and cross these bridges and get killed to do that.
That's right. Haley Belafonte got punched in the face.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, well,
but to the point of
damn, you're crazy.
Like artist rest though, because I don't know. When I heard Ari Lennox and Summer Walker talking about that, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, saying how I want to quit the industry because it's so hard, it's so demanding. I had a hard time connecting with that. That's the first time I really felt my age as a someone who was witnessing art because like other people just died, and
that's true.
I appreciated them for them. Like Kurt Cobain is just dead. You know what I mean? He didn't
but
rest.
I feel like art has really evolved now. Like, we're in a stage where, like, you have to be an artist on tour. You have to be an artist on social media. You have to be an artist in all these different mediums that weren't necessarily, like, a thing then. Like, back when, Michael Jackson was an artist, he could just come and perform, go and make music. But he didn't have to make music for TikTok, make music for Instagram, make music for Twitter, share his stuff on social media. Like, I just feel like it has really transformed in the way artists have had to show up.
Well, tell me more about this industry. Tell me more about this. What I tell Alex, like, the industry that I fell in love with is the Quincy Jones industry, and that joint dead. Mm-hmm. So tell me what you see.
Agreed. I mean, like, if we think about, like, artists now, like, let's think about, like, Sexy Red and Ice Spice. Like, they have to make trending music, right? They have to trend. Yeah. I think it's crazy too, but we're in a very, like, TikTok music era where, like, your music has to go viral on TikTok in order for you to be a good artist right now. I don't necessarily think that's what makes a good artist. No, but in this era,
I hear you.
Yeah, it's like you got to go viral on TikTok, and then you're a good artist, and then you got to stay viral, maintain that virality, and that's, like, really not up to you. You know what I mean? So it seems like just a different. It just seems like a different reality for artists now.
We were talking about that earlier. I mean, that touches on a lot of the points I mentioned, where it's like, what if artists didn't have to be on social media at all or be on TV or anything, but they still made great music, right? Like, then you wouldn't have to have an opinion on anything because nobody, unless you're at a concert. And that's kind of how it used to be, right? Because, like, if someone said some wild Kanye West style stuff in, like, the 60s, the only time you're really going to know about that is because you went to their concert.
Right.
Or
it's going to be all over the news then.
They used to go on talk shows a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think now, like, there used to just be Oprah or David Letterman, but now you got
like the late night shows. Now you got shows that are on 24/7 essentially, right?
And so many different hosts that want to have so many viral people on there, so you got to have an opinion.
Okay, to both of your points, right? If I don't want to use a real name, but if a viral artist did not have to do social media, do you think they'd still be an artist? Or would they have to try to find their way into pop culture through another medium?
I think they could still be an artist, but it would be like to the reach thing. Like, how far is your reach really? Can you really reach people if you don't have social media? I'm trying to think of an artist who doesn't. But now, like, they have teams managing their social media.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to say it. You really think that, like, without social media, Sexy Red would still be a rapper?
Well, Sexy Red...
Or would she be a comedian like she started out?
Frank Ocean.
She has been rapping for a minute, though.
I know.
Frank
But I
Ocean.
felt like the rapping was a parody because she was actually trying to be funny.
Because I'm from St. Louis, right? So I've known about her for a minute. As a rapper, though. I didn't know she was a comedian at first.
I thought she was doing parody at first, but maybe she was always been serious.
Wait, Sexy Red's a comedian?
I
always thought it was parody. Like the first joint that was with the Vanessa Carlton joint, I always thought she was just like fucking around.
Okay.
Because it was like this hood girl in like this pink ass car with all these tattoos doing like this soft white girl thing. I was like, oh, that's funny. I didn't realize like she was really trying to be like Biz Markie or like Flavor Flav. I didn't realize that was for real.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Damn.
I think so.
Okay.
As long as I've known, I thought so.
You from St. Louis?
I am.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've really met someone from St. Louis.
There's not, I don't really meet people outside of St. Louis from St. Louis
My dad
either.
was born in St. Louis, actually.
Born in St. Louis, for sure. I used to, I spent a majority of my childhood in Jeff City, Missouri.
Oh, did you?
I sure did.
Why?
This is where I was at the time.
Okay.
Why is a great question. Why is a great question? Because there were 3 black kids in my class.
We used to go to Jeff City for like field trips.
Yeah.
To see the,
You said one black kid on the side of the bus? That was me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at that nigga there. That's crazy.
So were your parents in the military or something?
No, I just got a hustler for a mother. And she was, oh man, how did we end up in Missouri? She was working for the state for a while, and then she got her master's degree at this Fulton College, and then we moved to Mississippi and then to Florida. But I have very fond memories of Missouri.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like childhood memories.
Okay,
I wouldn't say they were great memories, but
fine.
Rich, if you will. Buttery, if you will. Yeah. Tell me about St. Louis. How'd you end up in, I guess it was Howard, but how'd you end up in D.C.?
Yeah. Howard. Exactly.
Okay, for sure. Happy homecoming.
Thank you.
No problem.
We had a ball. It was a time. But yeah,
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear good reports. I didn't hear good reports. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
They
I
must
went to
not
Howard
be
as
Howard
well.
alum.
Howard
All
alum.
right.
Yeah, I am a Howard alum.
And you didn't hear good reports from Howard people?
Yeah, I did not hear good reports.
That's crazy.
When'd you come out of Howard?
19.
Okay.
So I'm fresh.
Yes, you are. It's true,
Fairly fresh.
True.
5 years. I celebrated 5 years this year. Yeah.
The stupid Howard hand.
I love the Howard hand. I love Howard.
I came out in 2011.
Okay.
And my people were not.
Why? The tailgate?
Well, actually, to go back to what we're talking about, they said the performances on the yard were trash.
I'm sorry. Who goes to Yard Fest for the performances?
We do.
I've never.
Well,
y'all had Drake and stuff coming.
Even before, I was telling my lady the other day, like, even the year before Drake, it was Rick Ross and Cameo.
Y'all have had ever since I was at Howard, we've had. I don't even know. I don't even know who we had.
So when you ask me like who goes to the yard for performance, you kind of like offended me. What do you mean who goes to the yard for performances?
Yeah, we haven't had good Yard Fest performances. So we go to the Yard Fest to see people, to network, to you hugs.
Okay.
Like introduction to homecoming, but we don't go for the performances because we haven't had extraordinary performances since I've been there. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you another question? Mm-hmm. When's the last time you've seen an extraordinary performance?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
Okay, so I work for NPR.
Yeah.
So I see them all the time at the Tiny Desk.
No, you don't.
I do. I do.
You see performances, but I asked you about extraordinary performances.
I'm talking extraordinary.
What's the best Tiny Desk that you've been to?
That's hard. Well, Usher was extraordinary. Juvenile was extraordinary.
Juvenile, I like that.
Maxwell was extraordinary.
Maxwell, yeah.
Maxwell was great.
Scarface.
You were for the Scarface joint?
Yeah.
I cried 3 times during the Scarface joint.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I've seen some and that's how I prefer to. I don't. I'm not a concert person.
But okay, you just gave me I feel like it's a scapegoat answer.
No.
Because I'm thinking like festival stage. I'm thinking like.
I'm not that. That's not me.
Why not?
I don't like big crowds. I don't like it's too loud, it's too big, I can't connect. Like I like intimate. I like live music, jazz, jazz in the park. I like that kind of thing. Like intimate setting. So I appreciate Tiny Desk because I can be right there, I can hear you. Your vocals are crisp. Those festivals and stuff, concerts, the acoustic, I'm like, please get me out of here.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
Interesting.
I do understand where you're coming from.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, that's
I'm seeing a generational line here.
Really?
Because very much so. Because to the Rick Ross and Cameo performance, I wouldn't say that I was an extraordinary performance, but what they did on that stage would have blown out anything that you've seen at Yard Fest or anything just based on what you said at any festival. When I saw J. Cole at Made in America in 2014, that's one of the best sounding sets I've ever heard. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And so but the exact criticism I heard from Yard Fest was like the sound was bad and the performance was bad.
Yeah,
but it sounds like it's not a priority anymore, and that is the generational line.
I didn't even go to Yard Fest this year.
That's crazy. Where'd you go? You went to the bullpen?
I did go to the bullpen.
Okay, how'd you feel about that?
Bullpen's a terrible place.
Yeah, I don't like the bullpen as a place because again, crowds. Like I need some space. Like I need to be able to walk around. The bullpen, I could walk around, but it was just like. It feels like you're in traffic. I'm like,
I don't understand why they don't do really, really
That's funny.
good shows at the bullpen. Like they have this huge outdoor space in the middle.
I think
what I mean? Like it baffles me every time.
We're trying to get to that now.
Yeah.
3 talkers talking about performance. Where the fuck did the performances go?
I'm trying to.
You telling me you have really blown my mind. You have
Really?
been out for 5 years, and you're telling me even at your time in Howard until now, you have not seen a great performance on the yard.
Well, Uzi came,
Okay,
but
Uzi
it wasn't great, and I
He
like
was just
Uzi.
there.
Yeah, but
wasn't
you
great.
couldn't hear him. Like you couldn't really hear him. I
yeah.
definitely couldn't see him. So it was just
there are probably a lot of people there.
So yeah.
That's what happened at Something in the Water in DC. Uzi played, and it was the biggest crowd I ever seen in my life. Like you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, it
I'd
was
rather
terrible.
listen to the music in my car.
It was terrible.
For him to do what though? I saw the Uzi performance from. I know what he was doing at the gym.
You know what he did.
Yo, you just missed my man dancing.
You know what he did.
I have never seen you move your body.
No, we have. Remember the first episode?
No. What did he do?
We were dancing around.
Oh God! Uzi, he just gets out there and like he'll say a couple of words and let the beat ride and then dance and then
rock his hips.
Yeah, but like. Ironically, me and my lady, she like stumbled on some shit on YouTube, and we ended up watching like performance of course, Luther Vandross. Right?
Oh yeah, I would have loved to see him.
Luther Vandross was just standing there, just like Uzi does.
I would have loved to see, but see, he has the vocals. That's another thing these artists don't have anymore.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's just how I feel.
Well, we have our first podcaster. That's a long intro, if you ask me, but Sommer.
Yes.
What's up, Sommer?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm talking to another talker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all. Professional yappers.
Yeah, we be talking, man.
Yeah.
We be talking.
I know. It's so funny when I interview like other yappers because I'm like, who's hosting this, me or you? But it's a fun conversation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, tell me how you got to yapping.
I've always been a yapper. Like when I was like 5 years old, I was at my uncle's house. And I said to my uncle, Uncle Scotty, can we talk? Because I like to talk. And he was like, come on, let's talk. And I just sat there and talked to him for hours. And then that's when I realized, like, I really like to talk. So I've just been a yapper my whole life. I never knew it was a gift, though, right? Like, I always thought it was just like, everybody talks. So I never knew it was like a talent until I got to Howard. And studied journalism and like just the people that I was able to talk to and the conversations I was able to have. And, we'd always like share our work with the class and they're like, how did you get that? How did you get that out of them? Like, how did you get to talk to them? I'm like, I don't know. I just started started yapping.
Right.
So I just take that and ran with it. And it's been really fun.
Yeah, I didn't realize almost to the same conversation we were having just a second ago about like musical skill, I didn't realize that holding conversations would be a skill that people hold in such a high regard.
It's an art.
It is.
It's an art. I call myself an artist because that's not easy.
It's not.
To create like a fluid conversation, to be attentive, but also think about what you're going to say next, like, and also keep it engaging and intriguing, and also try to think of something thought-provoking or funny or, something. Yeah. That's an art.
Yeah. And the more we are saturated with people having less than stellar conversations, the more we stand out.
Yeah.
How you deal with that? How do you scroll through the day and listen to people's terrible conversations?
I don't.
Okay, cool.
I really don't. Like, people like in order to be a good podcaster, like you have to listen to podcasts. I don't.
Oh, I don't listen to podcasts either. I keep it unbiased.
What you mean?
I don't listen or watch podcasts.
We've gone
through this before.
But let's remove the medium of podcasts. Y'all not watching like no interviews. You're not watching other conversations.
I do watch good interviews. Yeah, good interviews.
Right,
bro. Everyone's gonna hate me. I don't watch Netflix rarely. I don't watch movies. I don't watch.
Oh, you don't consume television?
I literally just listen to music. And smoke weed.
Would you consider yourself a good podcaster?
I've been told that we are good podcasters. I don't know about me. He's an actual podcaster.
Okay.
I'm an artist manager who used to do interviews when I owned a music blog called thereup.com when I was younger, around like 2012. And yeah, I think I'm half decent.
I studied them though. Like that's what I'm watching for. Like, ooh, how did you get that person to do this? Like body language. I'm looking at all of that. I really think that David Letterman is good at that. Right?
David
Letterman.
David Letterman is good.
Letterman.
Yeah, he's good.
Especially the older he got, the better David Letterman got. You know who's also good at that? Arsenio. Arsenio Hall.
Okay. I don't think I've watched any.
Arsenio Hall is the black late night host. The black late night host.
I know who you're talking about.
He took over Johnny Carson. He's the only person to beat Johnny Carson.
Okay.
That man is amazing.
Yeah. You got to watch the greats. You have to. You have to. So watch some and tell me what you think.
No, definitely. I think I definitely have to try harder than BMO does. But
this is like when we talk about the grand goals of my life. Number 2 is late night television show.
What's number 1?
husband and father at the moment, but
I would say I'm a decent storyteller. Like
That's
if I
important.
can get riffing on an actual story,
that's important.
Yeah.
But as the host, are you doing the storytelling?
It depends.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
You told a bomb ass story for your birthday, John. That was good
Yeah,
as
that
hell,
was
man. That
really
was good, yeah.
But I think that getting to that exact point is like, we're in this room. We're wearing multiple hats as well. So I really pride myself on, choosing the guests is kind of like very artistic for me.
That's your specialty?
Yeah.
So why was I chosen?
Because I had been following your podcast already. I enjoyed the guests that you were having on.
But you never watched.
No, I have.
You have watched a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I've watched podcasts. I just don't consume them as media that's like in my day as like relaxation or even information stuff. Like when we mentioned the podcast history of me, it's more so like unfortunately Joe Rogan.
I
his
really
shit.
likes him a lot.
What else? No Jumper. Like that's really what made me get into the podcasting thing because I was like, this motherfucker.
Who's that?
That's the Adam 22, right?
Adam 22.
Oh, is that the one that Trump went on his thing?
Did
He's
Trump
like
go on Adam?
a young boy.
No, that's
He does like Twitch.
Alex Media.
No,
that's Aiden Ross.
Yeah. Right,
but then also that one comedian who owns Alex Media or whatever. He's got like the crazy mustache. You know what I'm saying? And he's got the Indian guy who's also...
Schultz? You talking about Flagrant?
Schultz.
Flagrant. Yeah.
You know who's actually good? Theo Von.
Theo Von's cool.
Yeah.
He is.
He's cool.
And
Theo
so
Von is
I
really
actually
good.
like Drink Champs.
Drink Champs is good.
Yeah. Noriega can go there. He's cool.
He can.
He can go there.
And I was impressed. But
his journalism can sneak up on you.
Yeah,
Because you're sitting there smoking and drinking and he hit you with a question.
No, how does he do it?
But sometimes I can tell he hasn't done his research, but when he does, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And sometimes they drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
No, definitely. My favorite Drink Champs episode is the JPEG Mafia one because...
I didn't see that.
Really? This
my
man talking about he don't watch podcasts,
Right.
but he got the deep cuts. Go ahead, Alex, tell us.
Literally, this dude starts throwing up like repeatedly, and they keep him on.
No.
He does the whole interview, and he has to keep leaving. I'm like, why is the camera still rolling? Like, y'all are crazy.
That's gross.
It's disgusting, but he actually, like, he gets deep into like all this stuff, but then he like leaves. I get it.
They do not
They're
stop.
loading-
I don't know how they talk for that long.
Yeah.
Like those episodes are like 3 hours long.
I was just about to ask
crazy.
you something. So you come in, in my head, you're a younger person. Why you not streaming like 24 hours? Why you not doing the Casanat and the Aiden Ross and
You remember how we just talked about turning off?
Yeah.
I turn off.
Yeah.
After this,
Okay.
I'm probably not going to say another word until I have to speak tomorrow to my class.
You a professor? I saw that.
Yeah.
You professing?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
How?
I really don't know.
No, legit though.
I really don't know.
They just like you just stumbled into the classroom.
No. So I wanted to. I really wanted to get back into Howard's campus and get back in with the students and just being in an environment like that. And I've always wanted to be a professor, but I thought I was going to be like later in life.
I thought you had to be like 45 plus to
I
be a
thought so
professor.
too. I thought you had to have all types of merit, but I think that I was able to play on my ability to relate to the students and like I'm teaching a digital media class. That's what I work in. So my work has been able to guide me and teach me what I can teach them essentially.
Right.
So I just pretty much bothered Professor Sturgis and Professor Thomas until they said yeah. And they eventually said yeah. So.
Okay, cool.
That's cool.
So you did some strategic bothering.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's what I do.
Okay. Any tips you want to give on how to bother respectfully?
Yes, persistence. But don't just keep hitting people up. Like you have to have something to back that up. Like I had to bother them with knowing that I don't necessarily have the merit. Like I don't have my master's, I don't have my doctorate, right? And a lot of those professors do. But what do I have? So just being able to talk up what you are capable of doing. And I was coming on campus anyway, and like I would guest lecture a lot.
Yeah.
So I was able to talk about how that experience and how the students really connected with me and liked me and showing them proof of that. So you have to, yes, bother, but also show them why you can do this. And yeah.
That's some bold shit, Brett.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Like, you didn't even do like elementary school.
I've been like, I've held down classrooms before, but no, I've never been like a teacher. Never.
Straight to the pros.
Damn. That's dope.
I know. It's really cool. I really like it. Like, it still hits me, like, when I walk in there. Like, I was in there last week, and this professor came by. I actually had her, but she didn't remember me. She was like, what time is this class going to be over? And I'm, like, talking to her, and she kind of blowing me off. And then she came back. She was like, wait, you the professor? I was like, yeah. She said, oh, girl, I thought you were a student. So that happens all the time, where they think I'm the student.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. Like, it's been a journey seeing, you know, being in those shoes. Like, you know, I was just there. So it's been very interesting.
You're a professor at Howard. Yeah.
I know. It's crazy.
At the School of Journalism, too.
In the School of Journalism,
cool.
yeah.
Do you know who your night chair is? Like, ain't you under Nicole Hannah-Jones still?
No,
she's not the night professor no more, night chair?
She still does teach there.
Yeah.
But, no, I really don't know.
That's crazy.
I know. It is crazy.
How do you deal with imposter syndrome? I'm having imposter syndrome for you right now.
I don't.
Wow.
But I will say that, like, you know, I'm teaching digital media literacy to a group of, what are they, right. Gen Z? So they know. Like, they know it better than me.
Yeah,
so the hard part is, like, establishing myself as the authority in the classroom. But I'm very strict. They know I don't play at all. And so I've had to just use my experiences and really try to guide them. And really what I'm trying to teach them is, like, not what you learn in the classroom, right? Like, how to professionally bother, like, how to communicate with someone effectively. Like, I'm trying to teach them how to present. I'm trying to teach them those skills because, you know, they know social media better than me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oof, man.
Yeah. It's a time. It's really fun, though.
So how did the NPR thing come together? Like, do you...
Oh, same way. I just applied.
Yeah.
I had just graduated from the NBCU PAGE program, so I was living in New York, and I wanted to get back to DC, but I still wanted to work in media. So I'm like, what's media in DC? And I found NPR, and then I saw a social media role open. I was like, oh yeah. So I applied, and then the woman who pulled my application was a Howard alum. Hello, her name is Anais Laurent. That's my dog.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And we're dogs now. We weren't before, but yeah, she pulled my resume. She liked my website, so she sent me over, and the rest is history.
Like, what's your day-to-day entail there?
So I'm essentially a social media producer. So I manage TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Threads. And then I also manage the NPR Extra blog. So I'm like creating strategy, posting, creating content, writing blog posts surrounding NPR. Yes.
Two questions. One I want to ask about, I want to get a social media manager opinion from you. As a concept, I was wondering, like, how does like a Tiny Desk discern between what artists would be appropriate? Or is it truly just time? Like, you got time,
well,
you got time?
You know.
Or you about to go look up Nivea? Like, can Nivea get on?
I think, so I know that, so I don't work on the music team.
Right.
So I don't necessarily know their processes. However, I do know that in order for a guest to come on, whoever's producing that show has to be passionate about the artist. That's it. If I'm passionate about you, we'll That
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah.
Just
do with that what you will.
Okay. Second question. You seen this thing that's going on with And Pizza?
I somebody sent me something about it, but I didn't look into it. What is it? On U Street, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to close it, right?
They're trying to do more than close it. They put out this joint. I'm gonna show it to you. We don't even do this in the show, but I'm gonna show it to you real quick. Because I want to get your social media perspective on it.
True. She does social media.
She does.
Yeah.
They put out this.
Berry knots. Oh, these knots will blow you away. Okay.
And this is we're showing some of the ad from And Pizza that makes fun of Marion Barry's alleged drug problem to sell their new dessert at And Pizza.
Pretty distasteful, but...
And our classic knots got a bump. Is this real? Mm-hmm. No.
I'm dead serious.
This is real?
People are
and
definitely
our classic knots got a bump?
Yeah.
People are definitely going to buy it.
No, they're not.
What?
Marion Berry filled knots topped with icing, powdered sugar, and then even more powdered sugar. Enough
so
powder for you and a few friends?
Yeah, because he got caught up with that.
Yeah.
This isn't real.
That can't be real. It's probably all a ploy just to get free advertising.
Advertising for
That's
what?
real. That was on Pizza's page.
I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, please.
Hold on, let me show you.
Look, this is a journalist in me. I need to see the source.
I showed you the the
Washington
legacy.
Farmer, which is my dog's.
Yeah.
Lafayette.
This is it right there.
Oh, they did this. Oh, wait, hold on.
That's Pizza. They sent out a press release. They did it all. This is real.
I think that it is.
I mean, it looks good.
Okay.
I'm gonna come over there in a second.
I'm just joking.
I think that it's tone deaf.
Of course it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so it is crazy, and so I bring that up, and I wanted to get your social media manager opinion, especially even in light of this life-genuine things. It's like, okay, that is tone deaf, but like in this room, who's setting the tone here?
So this is obviously very DC specific. I want to know who was in that room, right?
Desperately.
And
I can show you their picture. I found them earlier too.
You found
on
out?
my journal. Oh yeah, on my journalistic shit. Yeah, I found them. I found them.
Who
I sent them an
came
email
up with
as
the
well.
concept?
Oh yeah.
Who is it?
I found it's a whole group. It's a PR group that works for Pizza since their transition. Oh,
this is taking another level, and it's not good.
Alex, ask a question.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're talking about DC. An important thing for me is like what DC means to you, because you're not from the actual area. I'm not going to call you a transplant, because I think that you belong in this space. Of course, you've done a lot of cool things for the DC community, as we can see. But yeah, like, what does it mean to you?
I told somebody the other day I was the queen of DC. I feel like the queen of DC. I really do. I love DC down. I know they were mad at me. I don't care.
Who'd you say it to?
It.
Oh,
I don't care.
How long you been here?
7 years.
I know the queen of DC.
Who?
Her name is Kiana.
Oh, there is an actual queen of DC?
I would say she would qualify, yeah.
Who? Why?
Her name is Kiana Jones. She owns the Congress Heights Art and Culture Center in Southeast DC.
Okay.
She's been doing art all night. She's basically like the face of that artistic and creative community.
That's amazing. I don't think there's just one. Like,
okay,
you know,
there could be a few.
Sure.
Yeah,
Could be a few queens. Okay,
and some girl got mad at me, and I was like, "Well, why are you mad at me? You could feel like the queen too. That's on you." I really do. I love DC. Like, this city has been so good to me. I've had such an amazing time. I've really learned more about who I am, and it just feels good here. Like, I may not always live here, but I'll always come back here. Everywhere I go, I'm treated well. Like, I really feel like the queen of DC.
That's great.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. And I don't feel that way
DC,
about every place, because I've lived in so many different places, but DC feels like home to me. I feel very welcomed here.
Yeah. It's a well-sized city, too.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And I know people have had experiences with DC, but mine has been lovely. I love
DC
it.
can be a little tough.
It can.
Like the district specifically, and I'm not surprised. Here go your people right here. I'm not surprised that you tweeted out that you're the queen of DC, and someone tweeted back to you. They got
yeah, they were mad.
Yeah, of course. Of course. But it makes sense for as a fellow transplant, as also someone who went to Howard and has been here like 17 years now. Marion Barry thing is such a great example, because like I'm kind of upset. I'm upset because I know the history of Marion Barry. He's the last president of the Student Nonviolent Committee Coordinating. He's one of the original sit-in students at NCAT, and now they're just making fun of him to sell fucking strudels at Pizza. So I'm an attitude on that on a cultural level. For DC, whose kids you were raised under the SYEP program. The reason why you have a job from 13 to 24 is because of Marion Barry. The reason why you have street pickup, the reason why you have the Boys and Girls Clubs and the art is because of Marion Barry, and now they're just making fun of him. I see why DC people are so strict about who's allowed to be
that girl
from there.
was not even from DC. She was from Maryland.
Well, I mean...
No, they make a clear distinction themselves.
Oh, I know. This is very clear.
I'm from Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. I say DMV, but PG people are, I'm from PG. I'm from Montgomery County. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Only
you know what? That's very That's very St. Louis to you right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
St. Louis is huge. In comparison to, like, if you think about them as all different places, instead of like it being just one city, if you think about it, like Normandy is one place, College City is one place, U City is one place, and all these places make up St. Louis, and it's like one place on the map. It's not like that in DC.
No, it's not like that. Yeah, that's why I didn't understand it. Like, for me, St. Louis is the city,
right?
And all those
everything
counties.
Else is like you out in the county,
exactly.
But if you in PG County, you could be very much, well, depending on your PG County, you could be from Southeast for real.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's a very interesting place. But the people who are from the district proper, they are very proud about their existence here.
Yeah. But I've never done anything wrong to DC. Like,
they love you.
Yeah, I'm very conscious about my experience here and about I'm not actually from here.
Yeah.
So what can I do in the community?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Summertime is very DMV based.
All true.
Okay, very much so. Most of the artists and people I've interviewed are from the DMV.
Yeah. Why is that important to you?
Because, like, I'm here in your community, and I want your support. I want the support of the community.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the only way to do that is to be amongst the community, talk to people in this community, and they're doing cool stuff. So I want to highlight that.
No, we have similar values. That actually brings me to my next question. Is there something that you want to change or think that you can change through, like, the platform that you've created on your podcast?
Change. I mean, the goal is to inspire. Like, I would like for someone to watch an episode or a clip and feel motivated and feel, like my show is meant to feel fulfilling. Like, I want someone to walk away and be like, ooh, I just got something from that. I just learned something new. I feel some type of motivation or inspiration. However, what I will say is with that, I know that DC is, it's going through some things right now. And, DC always does. But I take it personally, and I really want to be a facilitator for the young men in DC. I think that they need some things to do, some guidance, some resources, some mentorship. And so I'd love to get in the community and do something along those lines. And I interview a lot of men in DC. Mm-hmm. So I want to bridge that connection.
Tell me more about what the men need.
They need something to do. Like, y'all out here robbing people for their cars. You need an activity.
True.
You need to feel motivated about something. And beyond that, you need to see the humanity in people. Because that's what I like about DC. I feel like there's like a sacred collective understanding amongst Black people. Like, we don't harm each other. We don't fight each other. We don't talk bad about each other. Like, we're in a community. Like, this is us. But, obviously, the kids that are being raised right now are the kids of the people of the 80s, right? In their experiences that they've gone through. So, it's babies raising babies, or people who are not necessarily in the best mindset raising kids. And these kids are a product of that. And they need someone to show them something else. So I know that's a heavy feat, and that's pretty, like, almost arrogant of me to assume I could do anything about it. But I do feel called to. And so I would like to.
That's cool. I mean, I think that men in general get a little pushed to the side when it comes to mental health, or where, like, the progression is in the community of men. Actually, the first time me and BMO hung out, I remember you were like, yeah, it's great to just chill with, like a guy friend and just hang out. Like, we don't, people don't really do that much. I'm like, you're right.
No, I don't.
You're right. Like, unless we're going out with the boys, we gotta have some crazy night at the bars. It's really only, that's all I could really think of that guys are doing. Like, I have to drag my homies to, like, different things. I'll be like, hey, we're going fishing. Like, I'm gonna pile y'all in the car. Yeah. Like, we're going, really. Like, some other shit. So
yeah, I've learned a lot about men lately. It's weird. Like, I grew up with a brother, right? I have an older sister too, but I didn't grow up with her. So I grew up around boys a lot. My brother and his friends. So the older I've gotten and, you know, the more experiences I've had with men just through dating and things, you know, friendships, I started being like, I stopped giving them grace. Because, like, y'all piss me off so bad. Like, so bad. I'm sorry. So bad. So bad.
How bad?
And so.
Okay, for sure.
So then I had a conversation with a few men one day, and I realized, like, the world has stopped giving them grace. And I was like, oh. And then I had a panel at Howard University before I became a professor there. And, you know, we're in journalism, talking about journalism communication. So obviously a lot of women, but a few men trickled in. And one of the men raised his hands, was like, this conversation has been very female-centered. Like, you all really haven't mentioned how a man can thrive. And it was a panel full of women. So, like, I don't really know. But
of course.
The point was, I'm like, wow. One, y'all are not given any grace anymore in this world. And two, y'all have been pushed aside from these conversations now. Mm-hmm. So I think subconsciously and consciously, I've just started shifting towards, like, how can we bridge this gap between men and women? And what do the men need early in life so that we can create better men in this world and just foster better relationships?
I like that.
I'm glad you're doing it because I'm over it.
I know. See, see,
I'm fucking over
exactly, and that's everybody's perspective. They're like, yeah, I'm done with this. Like, I'm done giving grace. I'm done trying, and then you got more men out here fucked up.
Yeah, that's why we appreciate you. I had a friend of mine. She went to he went to a like a diversity conference, and at this conference there was this black guy who had all these Klans robes on the stage with him. There was like 20 Klans robes on the stage with him. And he goes on to tell this story how he's gone to over 50 Klansmen one by one and convinced them against their racism. And these are the 20 Klansmen who gave me their robes. And I'm like, wow, that's powerful. But I never do that shit. You keep getting them Klans robes, sis. I appreciate that. Because I'm not doing
like
it.
That. Yeah,
I would do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you would.
I would do that. That kind of stuff is so intriguing to me. And I feel like I have the privilege of being able to do that. Being like, you know, a small little soft girl, like, yeah. Yeah, you could. I feel like I got that privilege. You could, as long as. But is there a movie about that?
Maybe.
I think there's a movie about him.
Maybe. Yeah. I haven't seen the movie. I heard the story.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Since they told me that story, I was like, yeah, I'm glad there are people in the world
that'll do that work.
To do that.
That'll do that. See, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Someone to do
look
it.
At you.
Right.
Yeah, because I can't. These niggas is too far gone.
They are lost.
They're gone.
And it's sad. Yeah. It's really sad.
Okay. Well, that was a great answer. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
I don't even remember what you asked.
I just asked what you wanted to change.
Oh, yeah,
through your platform. Yeah. So I actually kind of want to backtrack, going back to just podcasts in general. Is there anything specific that got you into podcasting? I know you have a journalism background, things like that, but was it like a specific moment where you're like, hey, I need to create a platform? Or
there was. So I've always wanted my own show. And like, I've worked at all these companies to get my own show, but they never gave it to me. And I remember seeing, maybe it was a tweet, maybe it was a video, I don't know what it was, but it was something that was like, somebody is doing the work you want to do. And essentially what it was saying was like, they're not as good at it as you could be, but they just decided to do it. So what's stopping you? And I was like, you know what? And so I started watching some interviews. I was like, that's sure right. They sure right. Because that is not good at all, but they just had the confidence and the will to do it. So then I was like, you know what? I'm done talking about it. It's time for me to just do it. So I went ahead and booked some studio time with this videographer named Seneca, and I recorded. Yep, shout out Seneca, Howard alum.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
And
who else you gonna hit up on campus?
I recorded and I dropped it on my birthday, and I liked it and I had fun and I wanted to keep doing it. And what I realized is that, like, the respect people had for me changed, right? Because at first they were like, oh, she's a dreamer, very cool, very sweet, haha, that's cute. And then when I did it, they were like, oh, she's an executor. So now the conversations have shifted. The demeanor has shifted. The way people interact with me has shifted. So it's pretty interesting to see.
I love that part.
I love that part too.
I love that part.
It's been fun.
I love the way you went to school for journalism.
I did.
How did you know that?
So I actually started in psychology.
Oh, you were switchy.
I switched.
Okay, for sure.
I switched freshman year.
And you a bold motherfucker, man.
I did. And
I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I came in psychology because I was like, ooh, mine's interesting, love that. And then I was like, I'm not getting my doctorate. I'm not going to school for 8 however plus years. I gotta go.
True.
So I was like, well, what do I like to do? What am I good at? And like journalism seemed fun and intriguing. So I switched to journalism. And I guess that was just like my ancestors and the higher powers like, girl, you better. So I did it, and I'm very glad that I did.
Wow.
Because once I started, like, you know how things started aligning once you start doing stuff that makes sense for your life? That's what started happening.
I went to Howard I thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Oh, really?
So I went to, majored in political science, did a concentration in common law, and then I took the first common law class, and like, it maybe took me like 3 hours. Maybe like the first week of class, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm going to spend my career interpreting paragraphs written 200 years ago. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But I wasn't bold enough. I wanted to be a music major or a journalism major, but I wasn't bold enough to be like, I'm going to switch my major.
So you didn't switch?
You sat through it? I just changed my concentration to Black Studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you switched
I've been doing that this whole time, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did make a transition.
I did.
Just wasn't as drastic.
Just I was talking to my homegirl about this the other day. We have goals in our life, but like sometimes in an entrepreneurial path, we don't quite know what field is going to take us, which place. And so Alice calls me a podcaster, but this shit came to me by surprise. Like
really?
I've always wanted a show, like you said. I grew up in a time where I thought that would be a radio show.
Right.
So by the time podcasting came, this is maybe my 7th podcast.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been podcasting and been part of podcasting and building podcast networks. It's just I didn't know this would be the skill until I saw, everybody else can't read, write, or talk. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
And I remember somebody told me, they're like, what you want to do is right in front of you. And I was like, I don't get it. Like,
the hands?
Is it right? I don't get it. And then I was like, oh, it hit me when I'm like, it's talking.
It's talking. Yeah.
Oh, I see now. And I love it.
What are your markers of success?
So that's difficult for me because as an artist, right? Because this is our art, I am not very strict on like hitting specific analytics, right?
Talk to him.
Yeah, okay. Specific analytics. It's important for me to, like I said, have that impact. Like if somebody messages me and is like, I just listened to the podcast and I feel like this, that to me is a marker of success. I did set some goals for myself for this year. Like, I want to reach 10K on Instagram and I want to monetize, make some money off my podcast. Right. Those were my goals. And I did. I hit both. But like, I'm not like, this needs to reach this many people, because you know what I noticed? When I put those markers on myself, it doesn't do it. But the ones where I don't, I'm like, I'm just put it out there, see how it goes. Those are the ones that do it. So you just have to kind of detach, create what you want to create, and then detach from the outcome.
No,
and then the success will come. So, I mean, obviously, I would like to continue to grow on my podcast, and I would like, my podcast to be recognized and win some awards, but like, I don't have any specific like goals in mind. I do have specific places I want to go because of my podcast.
Yeah.
Like I want to win a Pulitzer Prize.
A Peabody man myself.
Peabody. I want a MacArthur Award.
Oh yeah.
I want a BT Award. I want a Grammy.
Yeah.
I want an Emmy. So however it's gonna take to get it. And I think that this will help me get there. I know this will help me get there.
I started doing my other podcast, Wake and Bake with BMO, 2020. I had a producer friend who saw me on the show, doing my show, invited me to do some TV specials with Maryland Public Television.
Oh, cool.
We've been doing that for the last 3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
Been nominated for 3 Emmys.
Look at you!
I'm telling you this, though, because it's easier than you think.
Really?
Those markers are easier than you think.
Okay.
And so what your true life markers are, which I think I heard you say a second ago, there's places I want to go, there are things I want to participate in, like those things are true. And you'll find, you get the Emmy in your hand, you'll be like, okay.
Right, now what? I already know that's what I'm gonna say.
It's just like heavy.
Now
but that Peabody, I can't.
Yes, I can't wait. I just think for me, it's like the recognition and like the affirmation.
Somebody else can see it.
Hello?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because right now, it's like, I know people see it. Like, even at homecoming, people, this girl came up to me. She was like, I saw you across the bullpen. Mm-hmm. And
all the way over there.
And I had to come through this crowd just to let you know to keep going because I really like what you do. And I was like, oh, stop. Yep. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do love it when that happens.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's just so affirming. So yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
As long as my parents are proud, I'm good.
Very true. So for people who are listening, I feel like it would be nice to kind of go through how, or I wouldn't even say how to start a podcast, but like, is there something that you think you 100% have to do to get started with the podcast, or something that you would have like left out in that process?
I think you 100% need to plan. Like, I'm not saying that the plan that you create is going to actualize, because it didn't for me. However, you need to put a pen to paper and figure out your action steps and take those steps. So for me, it was, okay, number 1, find a videographer. Check. Number 2, write out some scripts. Check. Number 3, book some studio times. Check. Once you've done that, it's like, well, can't back out now. I already book your makeup time. I've already done all this. Figure out your outfits. I already done all this now. So now I have to.
Time.
Yeah, I had to get my makeup done. Now I do it myself, thank God. But at that point, yeah, book me a makeup appointment. And now I'm here. So I had to really separate myself from like people who kept saying they were going to do something and never did it.
Yeah.
I had to separate from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's work.
Hello?
Yeah, you feel it. Mm-hmm.
I want to do it, but you better put a pen to paper and create an action plan and then check them off the list and get it going. Like, it don't take nothing to do it but to do it. You have 100%, to do it.
100%. I think for me, because I did watch or listen to a podcast on how to start a podcast, and it was all right, you know, but the big thing that stuck out to me was if you can't write out like either 10 questions or 10 ideas for episodes, then you shouldn't do the podcast. Like, and I started
with 4.
Yeah.
I had 4 episodes scripted, and it was trusting yourself, protecting children, the introduction, like, you know, my pilot, and Black men and grief. I was like, okay, these topics are important to me. So I got that going and put it out in the universe. That's scary. Can we talk about how scary it is to put an episode out into the universe?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, my gosh. Every time I drop, I'm, like, very nervous. Yeah. You're not scared?
I've come to understand it in a different way.
It's relieving to me. For it to be out in the world. I think the hardest part is like all the mediums that I have to release it on. Like, I do have obviously like a distributor that puts it on a lot of different, platforms, but then there's like the SoundCloud and the YouTube and then, the TikTok Reels, the Instagram Reels. Like, it's a lot. But I like to see everything kind of, because as BMO kind of alluded to, I am the guy looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm getting worried. That page, baby. I'm about it. So, and it's not what really matters.
Well, it's good to have both. It's good to have balance.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see tangible growth and
that makes sense.
Things like that. But hey, I also love it when I go out to a party and someone's like, "Hey, I really like that reel that you dropped last week. Like, that touches my heart. It makes me like tear up a little bit." Like, so
Yeah.
Do you feel like podcasting is like the ultimate medium, or are you trying to use podcasting to get to other broadcasting opportunities?
Well, for me, I like interviewing.
Same.
So as long as I can continue to interview, but I mean, ideally, like, yeah, it could transition into a full show. Now, what that looks like, I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, as long as I can still interact with people, I'd even like to have like a live show. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, definitely fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But that seems like a lot of work. So we'll see.
Thanks for listening, y'all. If you get a chance to subscribe, like, download, and follow, we really appreciate it. You can find us on Instagram at TheReUp. You can also find us on Patreon for exclusive content. New episodes every other Thursday. Thanks for your trust. Appreciate y'all.